we get into exactly what an enrolled agent is, let's talk about something near and dear to everybody's heart right now, who helps with taxes. So, when you're doing your taxes, nowadays, most people, if they've got a fairly straightforward return, can use DIY software. But it's kind of limiting if your financials become more complex. Or you can go to unlicensed preparers. I'm not going to list any names, but you know the ones I'm talking about. They may have experience, but they typically do not hold a formal credential or federal authorization. Then there are certified public accountants. They are state licensed and often provide broad accounting services like financial statements and audits alongside tax work. And then there are tax attorneys, which are licensed lawyers focused on tax law, often engaged for disputes or highly complex matters. And then lastly, there are enrolled agents. They're federally authorized tax practitioners who specialize specifically in taxation. By the way, this overview is educational only. Different situations call for different expertise, and people can work with more than one of these professionals at a time. So, tax strategy versus tax surprise. Now, ask yourself, do you have a tax strategy, or is it pretty much a surprise when you're getting your taxes done about this time of year? So, because most of us, frankly, don't worry about taxes until sometime early in the year when they have to file. But we've made financial decisions last year. In this case, it was 2025, all through the previous year, that might have an impact right now when somebody getting their taxes prepped or preparing their tax returns might be faced with either a smaller refund or worse, having to write a check. This has happened to you. You are not alone. Tax planning is a year-round endeavor because there are certain things that the deadline for doing them is New Year's Eve. Other things like contributing to an IRA or a Roth IRA, you can do up until pretty much April 15th. So after you finish filing your taxes, instead of just breathing a sigh of relief, by all means do that. And forgetting about taxes until next winter, start planning now while everything is fresh in your mind. You'll have options for tax planning that you will expire before most people think about taxes. So, why am I concerned about what an enrolled agent is? Well, recently I did a bunch of studying and I took all the tests, and I am now an enrolled agent, so I have a little bit of interest in it. It is a federally authorized tax professional. So an enrolled agent is licensed at the federal level. So an enrolled agent's authority is not limited to just one state. Enrolled agents are authorized to communicate directly with the IRS on a taxpayer's behalf for many federal tax matters. We're focused on tax law and tax returns. Like I said, we can represent taxpayers, and we work with individuals and businesses. Enrolled agents specialize in tax law, return preparation, and tax problem solving, and may not be the best fit for every situation. What enrolled agents can do: we can prepare and sign federal tax returns. We can do it for individuals and businesses based on the scope of engagement. We can represent taxpayers. We can act as authorized representatives in audits, collections, and appeals, and communicate with the tax authorities on your behalf. Help interpret tax notices and letters. They explain IRS letters to help draft responses and provide tax guidance related to preparation or planning. By the way, there's no outcome that's guaranteed. Okay. We can provide general tax guidance and engagements. That's where the planning comes in. We might say, hey, if you do this, you might be able to benefit here, but we got to know your situation. So, by the way, this presentation is general information only, and it is not personal tax advice. You got to contact a qualified professional for your situation. Part of that qualification is they got to know your ins and outs. Okay, what enrolled agents do not do: they won't replace your entire professional team. You still may need a CPA for accounting or financial statements. You'll definitely need an attorney for legal matters and financial professionals for investment decisions. We don't provide legal services unless we're also an attorney. They can't provide investment advice unless they're licensed and registered and in accordance with their firm's rules. I am one of those people that can provide investment advice because I am licensed and registered. Cannot guarantee outcomes with the IRS. So my role personally, I'm a licensed financial professional. I'm an enrolled agent, and that gives me a background that supports tax awareness. There's no personal advice today. I don't know your situation. We'll need to do a private conversation before I can give any sort of advice. But being an enrolled agent helps me spot tax considerations and ask better questions. So when you might use an enrolled agent, you receive a tax notice. So we can help interpret correspondence, organizing records, and responding appropriately. If there are life changes, you're starting up a business, you're closing down a business, you got a rental, you're going through a marriage or a divorce. If your returns start becoming complex, if you owe back taxes or there are payment plans, if there's an audit. So we provide support with filing prior returns and exploring arrangements to resolve balances due. Now, whereas an enrolled agent can do all these things, not every enrolled agent does everything. So again, that's what that scope of engagement thing's for. It's a letter that you sign and they sign saying, yeah, this is what we're going to do for you. Key takeaways. The enrolled agent is a federal tax specialist, may represent taxpayers, may give tax advice, may do tax planning. By the way, this is educational only. You need to get advice for your own situation. Okay. Once you graduate, be it from welding school, engineering school, or law school, you're going to need a different plan for each of these stages that's tailored to each individual situation. During your working years, am I saving enough and is it in the right place? Glide path to retirement, the last 10 years prior to retirement. Will the USS retirement be shipshape on the appointed day? Retirement, how do I avoid running out of money before I run out of life? And legacy, does what I worked hard for get to where I want it to after I'm done with retirement? I do in-person Zoom and phone appointments. I am licensed and registered across several states and can easily add states if there's a need. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, you can click on the Schedule an Appointment button in the upper right-hand corner of my website. Want to see more videos like this? Go to my website and click on the YouTube channel button. It's that red one in between the LinkedIn and Facebook buttons. If your friends want more information, they can follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube. Please like and subscribe. If you prefer the good old-fashioned telephone, 518-631-2569. Do not text that number. We'll both be sad because I won't get it. There's a separate texting number if you need that. Opinions voiced in this material are for general information only, not intended to provide specific advice for any or recommendations for any individual. All performance reference is historical. No guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested in directly. All data is believed to be from reliable sources. However, no representation is made as to its completeness or accuracy. None of this is to be construed as tax or legal advice. Consult your advisor prior to taking any action. This information is intended to be educational and is not tailored to the investment needs of any specific investor. All investing involves risk, including loss of principal. No strategy assures success or protects against loss. There is no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. By the way, LPL does not provide tax prep. LPL and Herwider Financial do not provide tax prep services. Have a nice day, everybody. I'll see you next week.